Hello, my name is Izzy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So the first video I ever posted on this account almost 2 months ago was my ultimate guide to autumn, where I spoke about the ultimate autumn bucket list, movies to watch and books to read, or my personal TBR and watch list. And since for me autumn is coming to an end because Christmas starts, in my personal opinion, on December 1st, I thought we would reflect on all the things I said in that video, mainly my bucket list, and see how much of it I completed. So without further ado, let's begin. So first thing on the list was decorate, which I did do. I got these autumn bed sheets, which I think I actually had in the video, so that is a tick right off the bat. Okay guys, I'm all set up, the outside's all done nicely, I have my little bowl of sweets down there. Then I said to go pumpkin picking. Me and my boyfriend did do this. We went and we walked around and we didn't buy any pumpkins because they were quite expensive for what they were, but it was a really nice trip out. We got some food, we sat, we looked at all the activities. Enjoyable experience. However, this pumpkin patch was a 15-minute drive from my house. Lovely, close, not too bad. It took me and my boyfriend 55 minutes to get to this pumpkin patch. With the joint stupidness of us both, we kept making stupid decisions. When I tell you, by the end of that drive, I just wanted to see a bloody pumpkin. I was like, I just want to see a pumpkin. So that added a bit of stress, but we calmed down, we looked around, and it was a really fun autumnal activity. Next was carve pumpkins. So I did do this. I did this on Halloween. So the trick-or-treaters knew that my house was open for business. I think I just did a smiley face because I was running out of time. I had to do it after work, between work and when the trick-or-treaters came. But I did carve pumpkins. Have a bonfire. I failed to do this one. Cozy up with a book. Well, of course I did this one. My personal favourite reading weather is when it's raining outside and you're inside and you've got a cup of tea, the fire's on, and you're under a blanket. That is my optimum reading conditions. Buy fluffy socks. I didn't buy a new pair because I actually have quite a few of my own and that just kind of felt like an unnecessary purchase. But I did very much put fluffy socks on because it is freezing. Read an autumnal book. We'll get back to this because I obviously made my TBR. But I did successfully read an autumnal book. Apart from, I didn't read The Secret History, which I did want to, because that is kind of dark academia, autumn vibes. Everyone always recommends it in that sort of gothic-y, dark academia vibes. I started it way back at the start of September, got about 100 pages in, and then I put it down to pick up Alchemized and I never picked it back up. I wasn't like fully sold, but I think I was kind of having a bit of a reading slump. Make an autumnal playlist. I made a half attempt at this. I added a couple songs to it, but it wasn't my best effort. Read Harry Potter, I didn't. However, I did get around to watching Harry Potter. Me and my boyfriend watched the first one and we got about halfway through the second. This was back when we were trying to make movie night a thing, and Harry Potter was my pick for movie night. However, movie night doesn't really work for us. I'm really bad at watching movies. I just get awfully distracted. And we were just watching this movie. I wouldn't let him talk during Harry Potter because to fully take it in. So I wouldn't let him talk through it. So then I'd have to pause it every time we wanted to speak. And then we ended up just kind of sitting and talking instead of watching it. So I did watch it, but I didn't get through the whole series. But that is still time to come with Christmas because that is something that transcends through to winter as well. Watch a horror / Halloween movie. I did watch a horror movie. I watched a horror movie with my friends. We watched... I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. It was a movie about... It was like a group of individuals that had moved to like this island to set up a society, and then the main character's sister had been taken by them, and he had to go and pay ransom or go and try and find her. It was like a horror movie. It is Halloween Eve. It is the 30th of October. I'm going round my friend Violet's house today, and we're going to watch a horror movie. I have got some Halloween inspired sweets for us to eat. Some popping candy fright bites, I think is what they're called. Yeah. Some ghost marshmallows. Some fearsome frogs. And while I was there, I picked up the sweets that I'll be putting out or giving to the trick-or-treaters. I wanted to watch Hocus Pocus on Halloween, and then I realised I don't have Disney Plus anymore, so I couldn't watch it. Go to a cafe. I did do this quite a few times. I love a good cafe. Yeah, quite a few times over autumn. Go on a walk. I also did this. Dress up for Halloween. So I actually didn't do anything for Halloween, like going out to any like parties and stuff. I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm saving my ideas for next year when I'm at uni, and Halloween is like a huge deal. So I didn't dress up for Halloween. I put on some devil ears for trick-or-treating. Well, I didn't know if I was meant to dress up for giving them the sweet. So I put some headbands on, a devil headband, but that is kind of as far as I went with dressing up. But I do have some good ideas for next year. I've written them down so I can remember. Try something pumpkin flavoured. I did do this one, basically. I bought 2 pumpkins for Halloween evening, like just small ones, because me and my boyfriend were both going to carve them. And then he didn't come in time to carve his, so I had a spare pumpkin, and I needed to use it. And I was like, what do I make with a whole pumpkin? Because I didn't want to make anything too big in case I didn't like it, because I had this feeling I wouldn't really like the flavour of pumpkin, you know when you just know. So I didn't want to make something like a soup where it would be a big waste if I didn't like it. But I didn't really know what a sweet flavoured thing to make. So I made these like pumpkin spiced cookies, but they were more like cakes, like they were really fat and they were really doughy. And I tried them. I did like it. I wouldn't say I would pick them over normal chocolate chip cookies, but I'm glad to try something pumpkin flavoured. It's definitely not my favourite flavour. I don't like coffee, so I couldn't try like a pumpkin spice latte or whatnot. So this was like the best compromise for what I could make. Try the pumpkin flavoured cookie. Kind of look like cakes. Cheers.
It'd be nice if it was crispy. And the flavour's not too bad. You don't mind it?
It's more like a cake. Pumpkin spice cookie cakes. Get an autumnal mug. I did do this. I did this early on. I got a little pumpkin one, and I've used it lots, and I'm very happy with it. And that is like the thing with mugs is you can reuse them each year. So, and like my bed sheets, you can reuse them each year. It's kind of an investment. You can keep using them. So that was good. Put the fire on. We have wood burners, so I put the fire on. Although in England it hasn't gotten cold until really recently. It was a really mild October, and only recently, I'd say in about the past 2 weeks, has it gotten cold, and it's almost the end of November now, so we haven't needed the fire on too much. Go apple picking. This was a fail. I did not, although there wasn't really anywhere around me that did apple picking. I did look it up, but I couldn't find any, although I did pick some apples. We have apple trees in our garden, and way early on in the start of autumn, I picked some apples from my garden and I made an apple crumble. So I suppose I did do apple picking, but I didn't do it in a nice establishment like the pumpkin picking. Watch fireworks, I did. This was more of a November activity, obviously, with 5th of November. Go for a pub lunch. I did not manage to go for a pub lunch. I'm thinking about it, and me and Beth and my brother, we did have supper in the pub. We had that pizza on our Bath trip. So that's not a total full tick, but it's a tick enough for me because I've been to many pubs and I've had food in a pub. That combined is a tick. And finally, light a candle. I did do this. I did light a candle, especially when I was reading. So that was a tick. Then for the final section was all of the food. So for this, make an apple pie. While I didn't make an apple pie, I have made an apple crumble. As I said, I made that way back in the start of autumn. S'mores I did not make because, as I said, I didn't have a bonfire. Cake pops also didn't make. Homemade soup, however, I did make. I made a tomato soup, and my mum makes weekly soups now. So like we both have them at work. So I've had loads of soup. I've had roasted tomato, roasted pepper, cheesy cauliflower soup, cheesy broccoli soup. I think she's made cheesy leek soup. We've had lentil, like curried lentils. We've had lentils and carrots. We've had tons of homemade soup, and they're such a good lunch. Cookies I made for that 2-in-1 with that crossover with the try something pumpkin flavoured. Hot chocolate I did. Here's the thing, right? We have so many different hot chocolate powders downstairs, but in my humble opinion, the Galaxy one is the best because I have done D&B, bronze through gold. For those of you who don't know what D&B is, it's like an award scheme in the UK. And as part of getting the award, you have to go on an expedition, so a camping and a walking expedition. And you have to obviously bring enough food for breakfast, lunch, supper, and you have to carry it, blah, blah, blah. And one of the requirements is that you have a hot drink with one of your meals. It's quite common for people to bring hot chocolate sachets because that's a hot drink and it's yummy and you just pour water in. When I tell you that is the best hot chocolate I've ever had, like ever, and it doesn't have milk in, which is great because I try not to have dairy, but we have so many different hot chocolate tubs downstairs, so I need to get through them all before I can then buy the Galaxy hot chocolate tub. Next, make ghost or pumpkin shaped pizzas. I did do this on Halloween. I made ghost shaped pizzas again with my boyfriend. I think mine was cuter. We asked my family and his family to vote. Everyone voted his, but I think mine was more ghost shaped. We picked ghosts instead of pumpkins because I thought like a pumpkin would just look too much like a normal pizza because you know they're quite round, whereas a ghost is a more defined shape. And the last two things I did not make, and that is caramel apples and cinnamon rolls. Both of these would be cute. I just didn't get round to it. If I'd done all of this, I would have had the ultimate autumn. I think I did quite well this autumn, but yeah, one day I'll get through this whole list. Next, just a quick discussion about my autumn TBR and how I did. Obviously, I've posted reading vlogs and reading wrap-ups on this channel, so I'm not going to bore you with it. However, from the books that were on there, Harry Potter didn't get read, as I said. Alchemized I read, and I have a reading vlog about that. City of Bones I read, and there will be a reading vlog eventually on that one. Secret History I obviously didn't read, and Wuthering Heights I think was the other book on there, and have not read that yet, so I won't have read it in autumn, but that is the next book I'm planning on picking up once I've finished Heavenly Bodies. I have this much left of Heavenly Bodies, not even 200 pages left, and then I'm forcing myself to pick up Wuthering Heights, so that was technically a fail for now, but it will get read eventually. And same with Secret History, I will eventually read it. And finally, for the movie watch list, again, as I've prefaced, I'm not great at sitting down and watching things. The Dead Poets Society, this was the first movie we watched on our movie nights, and oh my gosh, it was just as good as I remember. I was crying by the end. It is the perfect autumnal film. Just, it's set the majority of the time in autumn. Like the colours, the hues of the movie gives autumn. The academic vibes give autumn. All of it just gives autumn. Harry Potter, as I said, I watched the first and put a bit the second. Do I even need to explain to you why that gives autumn? I don't think so. When Harry Met Sally, this is one I did want to watch, but we just never got around to it. Same with Good Will Hunting. Well, actually no, Good Will Hunting I've been told is really, really sad. So my boyfriend didn't want to watch it. I probably will watch it, but maybe next year. I'm so bad. I never sit down to watch movies. And also, if I'm sitting down to watch a movie, I'd rather be using that time to sit down and read. Does that make sense? I'm just not great at sitting down and watching movies. Hocus Pocus, I already said I did attempt to watch this movie, but I couldn't get it. And then finally Gilmore Girls, for the same reasons. I don't have the attention span and I don't have the time, so I didn't watch Gilmore Girls. This was a bit of a random video, so I hope you did enjoy. Let me know what autumnal things you did this autumn and what you'll be saving for next year. I will be making the same video for Christmas, which will be out shortly, so keep an eye out for that. And again, at the end of Christmas, we can reflect on how well I did. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.